Welcome to Daily News Weekly, where we highlight the story.
You need to get dressed. You're not wearing your tie.
Okay. I forgot to bring my tie in today, so I'm just going with no tie. That's it. No tie today. Sorry. I know there's a lot of tie fans out there, but no tie. Lots of hair. Anyway, welcome to Daily News Weekly, where we highlight the stories from the past week that you might have missed. I am your host, Michael Sheridan. So it finally happened. A group of meatheads marched through the streets of Boston to prove that they're not gay. Pretty sure, though, they didn't really prove anything else. Organized by the group Super Happy Fun America, the participants in this event, which claimed not to be anti-gay, marched through the streets with slogans such as "Straight Lives Matter" and "Make Normalcy Normal Again." How is that not anti-gay? The rather blatant homophobia on display in Boston was met with counter-protests. According to the Associated Press, there were several confrontations and some fights. About 36 counter-protesters were arrested on charges ranging from assault to resisting arrest. Now, according to reports, the number of protesters far outweighed the number of participants in the parade itself. And as I understand it, the people who were arrested were all pretty much the counter-protesters, not the people in the parade. But that kind of makes me figure that's really ultimately all the people who organized this parade really wanted. They just wanted to poke their fingers into the eye of gay rights groups and other people that they just don't like or who don't like them and create drama. That's what the whole point of this parade was. And it just seems to me that ultimately that's what they got. A lot of people showing up there, making a lot of noise over something, quite honestly, they should have just ignored. An Arkansas woman inadvertently became trapped in floodwaters and called 911, terrified, desperate for help. What she got was effectively mocked by a 911 operator and then died. 47-year-old Deborah Stevens was working as a newspaper delivery woman when she got caught up in floodwaters around 5 a.m. on August 24th. At that time, Donna Renault was working her final shift after having turned in her 2-week notice. Stevens apparently turned into a parking lot to avoid what she saw as a flooded street, but ended up getting trapped in the floodwaters herself anyway, and her car stopped working, so she was stuck. And the audio was released of the 911 call was released by a local TV station. And it's heartbreaking to listen to. She's clearly scared out of her mind. And the 911 operator displays absolutely no compassion for her fear whatsoever. Accuses her of freaking out, accuses her of being responsible for her own problem, that she should have known better than to drive into the water. How could she not have seen the water? And I'm sure she probably didn't think that Stevens was going to die. She didn't think this woman was going to actually end up dying. I'm sure Donna wouldn't have spoken to her that way if she'd known the outcome was going to be something like that. She probably just thought this was just a woman panicking over nothing, and the police would be there, or fire would be there, and they'd get her out and she'd be perfectly fine. But she wasn't. She died. And the saddest part of this is that those are the last moments of this woman getting effectively insulted by a 911 operator who was supposed to be giving her help and compassion. Now, according to the reports, Donna Renault isn't facing any charges. There's no indication that anything she did impeded help from getting to Stevens. And I suppose that's okay, because the issue isn't really that Donna did anything legally wrong. She just wasn't much of a decent human being at a time when a woman probably really needed a decent human being. All right, everybody, now it's time for your favorite part of the show, the comments, because this part is all about you. Last week, we talked about a sheriff's deputy, a former sheriff's deputy in North Carolina, that is suing his former department after he was fired over claims that of religious discrimination because he claimed the Billy Graham rule prevented him from training a female deputy. If you're not sure what the Billy Graham rule is, the link is to last week's episode down below. Check it out there. Jennifer Hensley on YouTube wrote, "I think it's sad that you can't keep it in your pants, That you don't trust yourself enough to be around half of the population on Earth? Shouldn't they just pray and ask for strength? Probably. Steve Van Boven on Facebook wrote, I think the cop blaming the so-called Billy Graham rule got a little out of hand with things. Our pastor said when you work for someone, you must do what they want you to do. This was Billy Graham's personal rule to protect himself from anyone trying to cause fault in him as a well-known preacher. And Rita Daniels on Facebook wrote, what planet has this guy been living on? He didn't know that there were female cops or employees working for the police department? Please don't defame Billy Graham's name by trying to profit from a rule that has nothing to do with you. I think this was the key part of that story. The Billy Graham rule, it seemed to me from what I read, was really something that was just a rule that applied to his, the leaders of his ministry. I don't see how it was supposed to be a rule that applied to everybody. It was really just a rule that applied to them to try to keep them above reproach and prevent them from having affairs. That was it. Just a quick follow-up. Last week we talked about the huge cat that was up for adoption in Philadelphia. A lot of comments about that. Everybody saying just, holy cat, was actually my favorite comment, although I forgot to write down who said that. Either way, people were really taken by the cat story, and I just wanted to follow up by quickly saying it appears the cat did find a home, but may still be in need of a forever home. So there's still hope for you big cat lovers. A Maine resident has won the lottery again. Robert Stewart from Kennebunkport took home $100,000 after playing a $25 Maine lottery instant ticket for the $50 million cash blowout game, according to WMTW 8 News. This is after, just 3 months ago, he won $1 million from a $25 scratch-off ticket for Maine's Lottery Ultimate Millions game. What the dude? How about you stop playing the lottery and give the rest of us a chance to win a little money, okay? Thanks. Appreciate it. Could it be that the identity of the Loch Ness monster has finally been revealed? Scientists have released a study which indicates that Nessie, the mythological creature that has fascinated many for centuries, is not a giant dinosaur-like reptile. This study was done by an international group of scientists that took 250 water samples from around Loch Ness and then used genetic databases to compare any genetic material they found in the water to known species. What they ended up finding is that there is no reptile DNA in Loch Ness, or at least there was no reptile DNA found in the samples they collected, which, according to the scientists, would indicate that Nessie is definitely not a reptile. But what's funny is the scientists very clearly noted that this doesn't prove that Nessie doesn't exist, and in fact, they offered up an alternate possible theory. What they did find was that there was a large amount of eel DNA in Loch Ness. So, if Nessie is real, then perhaps instead of being a giant dinosaur or a reptile of some sort, she is a eel, a big giant eel. So while scientists maybe ruled out one possibility of Loch Ness monster, they haven't ruled out its existence entirely. So there's still hope. A couple in Mississippi was looking forward to their big day of getting married. And then all of a sudden, the event hall that they had booked canceled on them abruptly. When the groom's sister went to the event hall to find out why it was canceled, she was told it's because we don't do gay weddings or mixed race because of our Christian race. Our Christian belief. The groom is an African American. The bride is white. Apparently, the woman at the event hall, when she met the couple, decided that they couldn't possibly host the event. And she used her Christian belief and argued that the Bible says it's wrong for people of different races to get married. This is, of course, not true. The Bible says nothing about that. It is not a Christian belief that people who are of mixed race can't get married. Now, the sister of the groom had gone to the event hall to confront them to find out why exactly it was canceled, and she captured it all on video. That video went viral. Now, the event hall supposedly had issued an apology, but that apology apparently then disappeared. Now, the woman in the video then issued her own apology and noted that she'd always believed interracial marriage was against the Bible and against Christian teachings, but then she, I guess, mulled it over, read through the Bible in a quick study, talked with her pastor, and then was told, "You're wrong. That's not true. And what you said and did was wrong." Now, I've said a few times in the past that I think it's bad that commercial businesses discriminate like this, and it's allowed. And they often use the cover of religion as a way to protect themselves. But it's really all just an excuse to justify discrimination. If you're a business providing a service, you should provide that service to everyone. You should not be allowed to discriminate against who you provide it to, and then use religion as some sort of cover to protect yourself. I think there's, religious freedom is fine, but when it comes to actually hurting people and using it as an excuse, I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair to people, to the individual people. And I think it's unfair to religion to use it that way, because I don't think that's the Christian thing to do. And that's it, everybody. Thank you for watching. And if you like this episode, please hit that like button down below. Share this video with your friends, your family, your loved ones, those people at work that you love to talk to and hang out with at the water cooler, and even those people that you don't like hanging out at the water cooler with, and those people you don't talk to. Just spam everybody at work with this video and get them to watch it.